Hello, I am Wolf Blitzer, and thank you for tuning into Miss NBC for the third and final presidential debate. Now, let us welcome our candidates. First we have, from Salmon Creek, Louisiana, crowd favorite, Blub Blub. Our next candidate, from his hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, John Quincy Adams.
Hey everybody, I'm James Quincy.
You mean John Quincy Adams?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm super excited to be here at this wonderful event brought to you and sponsored by Coca-Cola. When I'm getting ready for a very important presidential debate, nothing calms my nerves like the gut-wrenching, calorie-fueled high of a nice swig of Coca-Cola.
Right. Thank you for that. And now, our next candidate, from Who Cares, You Wouldn't Know It Anyway, Minnesota, Gerald Ford.
Hello, my fellow Americans. It is so very nice to see all of you here tonight.
And now for our Mr. Ford?
Mm-hmm.
That name card there, it said Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see myself as a modern day Reagan.
He served his term after you.
Well, I like to feel like I laid all the groundwork for his successes.
Are you kidding? You've made just about as much as an impact as Scaramucci had.
Say his name, and he shall appear.
And I guess that brings us to our next candidate, presumably from the depths of hell, who insists on being referred to as the Mooch.
Hello. How are you? I love you all.
And finally, our last candidate, a national hero from West Point, Boomer Gunn. Anyway, here at BBC and MSNBC, we would like to thank you all for tuning in to the third and final presidential debate.
Sponsored by the cool, refreshing taste of Coke.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh.
Now opening statements. Each candidate will receive 30 seconds for an opening statement regarding their position on the current state of affairs within our country. Who would like to begin?
Right here, I'm open. Pass me the mic.
Okay. Let's start with Mr. Ford. You have 30 seconds to... What is with the name tag?
Oh, you said Mr. Ford.
You are Gerald Ford, not Harrison Ford.
Yeah, well, I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
That's not even a Han Solo quote. That's Luke Skywalker. What are you even doing?
To be honest, I don't even know anymore. What am I doing? What has my life come to? I mean, look at me. I'm an old, washed-up president that nobody can remember. And it's gotten to the point where I'm not even sure I can remember myself. I've thrown away so much of my life to be here. I had to give up my beloved family peanut farm that I literally built from the ground up just to be here on stage. I have sacrificed so much.
Mr. Ford?
Huh?
That was Carter.
What?
What you're talking about. That was Carter, Jimmy Carter.
I don't get what you're...
Jimmy Carter had to give up his peanut farm to run for office. Not you.
Carter? Which one was he again?
Number 39. Literally the president right after you.
Doesn't ring a bell.
You know what? Moving on.
No, let me finish this. See, I don't know who I am anymore. I've lost myself. A vote for me, is a vote for me. Do you want to see this old man suffer in agony any longer? No, so help me get off the streets and into a house. The White House.
Okay, Mr. Ford, that's obviously a blatant appeal to the audience's sentiment. You're trying to pity them into voting for you. No one's going to be enough of a sucker to fall for that.
Hey, you want to talk about suckers? Let's talk about Steve Bannon. I mean, that guy loves to...
Whoa, okay, Mucci, okay. I'm going to stop you right there. To be honest, I think that's probably enough for the opening statements, so let's just move on to our questions. Remember, each question will be given to one candidate for which they will have 60 seconds to respond. From there, any other candidate will be allowed 30 seconds to rebuttal.
But before we do, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Coca-Cola. There's no taste on earth other than the sweet nectar of the hide from a freshly skinned polar bear that surpasses the taste of a nice cold Coca-Cola, slowly asphyxiating your esophagus and restricting your air intake. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Mr. Quincy.
Apologies, Mr. Quincy Adams.
No, just carry on.
Right. So as I was saying, our first question goes to Mr. Blub Blub. Settle down, settle down. Blub, gun control and or weapon restriction enforcement has been a hot topic of debate for many years in this country. Many argue the side of the Second Amendment, while many will produce facts to contradict its validity. On which figurative side of this figurative coin do you reside? A phenomenal answer as always, Mr. Blub. Now, Mr. Boomer Gun, being our resident expert on this topic, do you have either an objection or concurrence to Blub Blub's statements? Well, on that note, Boomer, we do have a recorded instance in the past of you saying on the topic of gun control, quote,
"The tingo straw, pop pop ka ka ka, skitty pop up, and a papa der boom. Ska, doo doo, cuckoo, doo doom. Poom, poom." That's brilliant.
End quote. Obviously, you hold a very different position today than you did then. What prompted such a drastic change in policy? I see. A national tragedy indeed. Now, Mr. Adams, actually, Mr. Quincy, during that last response, I did receive breaking news that you are, in fact, not John Quincy Adams. Rather, you are James Quincy, operational president of the Coca-Cola Corporation.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Mr. Adams, this is a presidential debate.
Well, I am the president of the best flavored sugar death water brand in America, so I think that suffices.
I understand that, but this is a debate for legitimate presidential candidates. Only people who can successfully lead this great Scaramucci!
Huh?
What are you doing?
Can you read this?
Yeah, it's 4:03, but I fail to see
Has it been 5 minutes yet?
What? Has what been 5 minutes?
This. Has this been 5 minutes yet?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Mooch, out.
Wait, Mr. Scaramucci, where are you going?
Sorry, Blitzer, but I've got a record to set.
For what? Shortest time in a presidential... You know, now that I say that out loud, it kind of makes a lot more sense. It's predictable, even. Where was I?
You know, I did great things during my presidency.
Really? Name one. Please, you probably don't even remember when you served.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. In fact, I bet you don't even know when I served.
I can assure you I do.
Really? Then tell me.
No.
Tell me.
No.
No, like for real. When did I serve?
I knew it. 1974 to 1977.
74 to 77. 74 to 77. 74 to 77. I got it. You know how $1 never seems to be enough, but $5 is just too excessive? Well, April 13th, 1976, the Federal Reserve began printing the $2 bill with guess who on the face?
Not you.
Really? No. That sucks.
But Mr. Ford, there is no correlation between...
Wait, I'm not done. September 1st, 1974, the fastest, to this day, transatlantic flight from New York to London is set by the SR-71 Blackbird with a time of 6,894.4 seconds.
What is that in hours?
1.915 repeating.
Fascinating.
I know, you're welcome.
Right, but you have nothing to...
Hold that thought, Wolf. I've got more. February 11th, 1975. Margaret Thatcher is elected to be the first woman to lead a major political party in the United Kingdom.
That's wonderful. Good for her. Well, not really, she was kind of the devil, but the fact is that you have literally nothing to do with that.
I think you're just a woman hater.
No, I'm not. It's just that you had literally no influence on that at all.
With a name like Wolf, probably a woman hater.
Stop it. Stop spreading your rumors. My point is you didn't control these things.
Of course I did. I was president.
No, you didn't. There is no correlation there.
Sure there is. I was the president. I get the credit. They were my accomplishments.
That's a total faulty causality. You're taking credit for things that you had nothing to do with. You're setting up a fake cause and effect. There is literally no relationship between you being president and Margaret Thatcher's election to party leader.
Hey, there's no relationship between me and Margaret Thatcher.
That's literally what I just said.
You seem pretty heated. Could I offer you a cool down with a nice ice-cold Coca-Cola?
Shut up.
I did not have relations with that woman, Miss Thatcher.
I never implied that. You've got to have some sort of personality disorder.
Really? Prove it.
That quote is from Bill Clinton at the height of the Monica Lewinsky scandal in 1998, nearly 20 years after you left office.
So what does that prove?
And your name tag now says Model T, as in the car. You are Gerald Ford, not any other kind of Ford. Gerald Ford.
Nah, that doesn't quite work for me.
You know what? We're done. We need a break. Go to commercial.
Coca-Cola is selectively crafted from...
No, not you. I'm being informed that that's our only advertiser not in direct competition with Coca-Cola, and so the only one willing to run ads on this debate. So I'm basically not being paid for any of this.
Well, I certainly know someone who'd be willing to advertise on this sort of show.
No, please, no. Mr. Bush, how about a question for you?
What? How did you know I was here?
Because during the commercial break, you paraded in saying, George W's in the building, followed by your brother Jeb with a sign that I believe read, please clap.
Wow. I really that noticeable, ain't I?
All right, sure, we'll go with that. A question for you, sir. As far as the law goes, I'm pretty sure you can't legally run for presidential office again.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to, how would you deal with this very real terrorist threat that we face in this country?
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
insightful.
I best be going now, with thousands to lives to ruin and all.
Now, what do you have to say on that matter, Mr. Blub? Wow, a true visionary indeed.
I would argue that we approach the militants unarmed with nothing but a can of Coke in hand.
That sounds very familiar.
And then we extend our arm, offering our canned Cokey goodness.
You're definitely pretty familiar.
Then they'll open it, take a big old swig, and everybody will cheer. The gap will be bridged, the divide forever healed.
You literally just described the plot of the most controversial ad that Pepsi has ever run.
Perhaps we could get some celebrity to lead the movement. Maybe one of the Kardashians. Or perhaps Bob Saget.
Yeah, blatant copyright infringement.
You know, that's not my only policy idea. I have many great doctrine in store. You know, Coca-Cola is one of the healthiest drinks ever purified by the...
Yes, Mr. Quincy, we get it. You know what? At this point, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So let me tell you about what I think. I think we should replace tap water with Coca-Cola.
That's absurd.
Allow me to explain. Coca-Cola is the healthiest drink ever produced. It is great for dental hygiene and can prevent tongue cancer. It is the most...
I'm going to stop you right there. First of all, I don't think that that's a real thing.
What?
Tongue cancer?
My apologies. It can prevent cancer of the tongue. It is the safest and
Okay, hold on. This sort of thing would never happen. How could you even imagine to ever get this thing past Congress?
Are you kidding? It will pass itself.
And how is that?
Simple. A lot of people drink Coca-Cola.
So
everybody should drink Coca-Cola.
I see what you're saying, but why?
How do you not get it? A lot of people drink Coca-Cola. So everybody should drink Coca-Cola. It's simple. Tomato, tomato.
Okay, that is the worst use of that expression I think I've ever heard. And it's a terribly flawed logic. That's bandwagoning. You can't just suggest that everybody ought to do something because a lot of people do it.
Sure I can. I just did.
No, I know you did, but what I'm saying is... Never mind, let's just get back to the questioning. Mr. Gunn, on the topic of border security, do you believe we should strengthen our borders forcefully or diplomatically? A controversial opinion, but a vivid one. Mr. Ford, do you have anything to say on the matter?
Sure. Why not? I think that...
Oh, what do you know? I suddenly lost all interest. Next question, for Mr. Blub Blub. Some of your critics seem to believe that seeing as you are an inanimate fish, you are not quite fit to assume leadership of this great nation. Some of your stronger supporters simply write these individuals off as haters and racists. What do you have to say on the matter?
I'm gonna take this one for him.
Oh, you're back.
We want blood!
Settle down. Let's hear what he has to say.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Thank you for that, Mr. Bush. As wise as always. Now, I have received a verdict from my superiors, Mr. Quincy. It has been decided that you... Mr. Quincy? Mr. Quincy, what are you doing?
Nothing like the taste of a nice ice cold Coca-Cola, eh, blub blub?
You murderer! What are you doing?
Liar, I ain't a crook.
You're not Nixon.
No, I am not a crook.
Stop it! You're not Nixon.
Rarely is the question asked, is our children learning? It is in my belief that you teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass a literacy test. And this is proven fact. As yesterday's positive report card shows, children do learn when standards are high and results are measured.